Hello everyone, welcome back to the Great Edge workshop. I've been working through quite a number of chisels this evening, and I thought, Tormek's done a fair bit of hard work for me, and I think it's time for a bit of a clean and doing a bit of routine maintenance on the machine. And I thought that would be an interesting time to switch on the camera and share a bit of information, because we talk a lot about sharpening on this channel, but I haven't spent much time discussing how to look after your Tormek. I think it's a brilliant machine, extremely well designed, and it's going to last for as long as I need it. I'm sure of that, but nonetheless, there are a few things that we can do as operators to keep the machine running smoothly for us, literally and figuratively, and also a couple of safety points that I think are relevant to mention. So that's what we're going to be discussing tonight. First order of business is to get the machine cleaned up. I mentioned I've been doing chisels, so there's a fair bit of dust and debris. Honing does make a bit of a mess. Cleaning is cleaning though. You don't need to watch me wiping down the machine. So I'm going to switch the camera off for a second, get this all wiped down, get the dust and debris away, and then we'll rejoin when we get onto the actual maintenance points that I want to discuss. So okay, we're back. Machine's had a wipe down now. Nothing elaborate, just a damp cloth to get rid of the dust and debris. It's going to go straight back to work again tomorrow, so I'm not going to be polishing or giving it the surgical preparation treatment. Just want to get it tidied up again, so that as I'm handling it, going through the maintenance things, I'm not moving and dragging dust and debris around the machine. So first thing, and the main thing to do when it comes to maintaining your Tormek, is looking after the drive mechanism. So that's the rubber wheel that's here, and the drive shaft that actually moves it around. So I'm going to move the USB out of the way, because we don't need this for anything that we're working on today. So as I mentioned at the start, I just finished doing some chisels tonight. Chisels, I tend to use more pressure. Actually, the drive wheel tends to get a bit warm when I'm doing chisels. I did actually measure it a few weeks ago, nearly 60 degrees Celsius, and I've got a picture of that from the day. But what it means is chisels, sharpening chisels, or anywhere where you're applying a lot of pressure, you end up getting a bit of dust on the drive wheel, and that's not a good thing, because it's friction driven. So dust on here means it's going to be slipping, means it's going to get hot, means it's going to create more dust, means it's going to slip more, etc., etc. So from time to time, and basically when you have that symptom, you wipe your finger on it, it comes up with dust. I just give it a wipe down to try to get rid of the dust, and just improve the friction, improve the traction, literally, on this wheel. So pretty quick job, and for now that slips a bit, but once it dries, that's going to be in really good shape. Then the next thing, this side we want friction, or this part we want friction and traction. The next bit I'm going to talk about is lubrication, to keep it running smoothly and easily with the minimum amount of vibration, especially when you're talking about precision angle sharpening. So for that, we need to get into the central axle of this drive wheel. So I'm going to take, I can spin around to show you. So I'm going to take the spacer off on the other side. And there's a washer that sits there between the spacer and the shaft. And then on this side, we're going to be actually removing this piece, the drive wheel. So hopefully it's visible on camera, but where the drive shaft makes contact with this rubber wheel, in order to get this out, it's just going to pull straight out. I apply a little bit of tension on the drive shaft to release it, and then out this comes. Simple as that. Okay. All of this is very simple cleaning and a bit of lubrication. So I'm going to wipe this part down just with a bit of paper towel or kitchen roll. So that's just spent grease and a bit of dust that's built up in there. So again, not going for perfection here, just trying to get it clean and get the old material out of there. And then I normally take the end of the paper towel and just wipe around the inside of the opening there, the inside of this rubber gasket, and sometimes get a little bit of material coming out of there, but yeah, just want to give it a good tidy. This side's a little bit dirtier. This shaft actually mostly passes through the machine in free air, so it's really just the contact points on either side of the frame that we need to worry about. So just give that a bit of a wipe down. Okay, easy as that. And then some lubrication. So I use this white lithium grease from well-known lubricant and cleaning brand. Lots of options. So I wouldn't be, you're welcome to use this one, of course. It works for me, but I don't think you need to be so prescriptive. So I'm just going to apply a little bit, again, at the 2 friction points. So there's one there and one there. The rest of this, even by the state of it, you know, it was unblemished, didn't need any cleaning because it's not making any contact. It's passing through free air in the middle of the machine. So apply a little bit of grease there, a little bit of grease there, and then the shaft can go back into the machine. Trying to be reasonable here. I want enough to provide the lubrication, but not an excess that's going to be slopping around, binding up dust, causing me problems. So in that goes, as gentle as I can manage. Now to get it all the way in, again, I need to pull this drive shaft out of the way and then push that through. There we go. Washer back on. I can just wipe that as well. Not using any cleaner or anything like that. Just wiping the debris. Spacer and the lock nut. And put this on just not providing any fixing at this stage, but just not to lose it. And there we go. Nice smooth freewheeling machine. Not releasing any dust anymore, so should be giving good traction. Sorry, my hands are dirty. It's hard to do that test, but hopefully you can see that it's clean now. And that's that. So just periodically, it depends on the environment, how hard you're working the machine. Just have a look. I don't have a set frequency as and when needed, but I've done some chisels tonight that made the machine hot, and it's been working hard over the last little while. So I thought, okay, it's time to do the maintenance. I guess looking back, it's probably once every 2 months or so that I'm cleaning this out and applying the grease. But really, look how quick this all is. So you know, if it needs it, it needs it is my view. So that's that in terms of maintenance. 2 other things that I wanted to talk about, and we can be quick and brief, but in terms of safety, one of them is UK specific, and that's the fuse rating in the plug top. So for UK plugs, and I appreciate not all plugs have not all plugs from different countries have a fuse in them, but in the UK we do. The one that came with mine was a 13 amp plug, which is far bigger than is needed for the draw of a Tormek machine. So when I'm sharpening, this thing is pulling about 90 watts, which is just sort of a third of an amp, and it came with a 13 amp plug. So that's far oversized for the load of the machine. So I've downrated mine to 3 amp. That's still much bigger than I need, but what it means is if there is some sort of fault current, it's going to protect the cable much quicker and at a much lower current, so that we don't have any risk of fire or injury. Well, I suppose there's always a risk of fire or injury, but we lessened it. Have a more appropriate fuse. So if you're watching this and you have a Tormek and you bought it in the UK, or it has a plug like this, take a look at the fuse, and you could certainly step it down to a 3 amp without compromising any function. But related, and still working with the plug top, is the fact that we are using electricity and mixing electricity and water, which are 2 things that don't like to go to don't mix very well. So from a safety point, from time to time, I like to check the earth bond on my machine, and what I mean by that is, this pin, that's the earth pin on a UK plug, and I like to make sure that there's a continuous path between this and the extraneous metal parts of this appliance. So things that are connected to the electrical system in here, I want to make sure that adjacent metal parts are linked back to here, so that in the event of a fault, that fault is going to be discharged down the earth cable, trip the breaker, and no one is harmed. So I'll show you what I mean. There are more sophisticated ways to do this with electrical test equipment, but thinking of typical sharpening workshop in this case, rather than my multifunction tester, I'm just going to use a simple multimeter. I'm going to set it to the continuity setting where if I have a continuous circuit with low resistance, it emits a tone. Hopefully the camera's picking that up, and then all I'm going to do is place one of my probes on the earth pin, if you can see that, and then touch the various metal parts around the machine that I know are connected. So starting with the drive shaft, yeah, good sign over here, yeah, and then into the USB. So that's very good. That means if I do have a fault within the system, the relevant metal parts in here are connected back to earth or to ground, and I'm going to be safely looked after in the event of an electrical fault. That's not something that I do all the time. Maybe once a year I might check this, or depending on wear and tear, but it's such a simple thing to do. Again, worth having a look at your machine. If you are in a country that supplies an earth pin on your Tormek, check those points, and you'll be, it's a step towards working a little bit safer. Okay, good. That's all we needed to cover for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you've made it this far and enjoyed the video, please do like. If you're new to the channel, I would love it if you would subscribe to be notified of future and upcoming content. And a new feature that I've added into the comments of this section, comments of the video, if you've appreciated what we've discussed here, if it's helped you grow or develop your hobby or develop your business, there's a link in the description to buy me a coffee. And if you do make a small donation towards the channel by buying me a bit of refreshment, I'll make a mention of you in a future and upcoming video. So anyways, thank you again for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed, and see you again soon. Bye for now.